when we look at play for children around this age in early childhood, it's not really their ability to count or, to know numbers that determines later success. According to the literature, cognitive results plateau at 8. That's an academic way, basically, of saying that whether you learn to read at 4, whether you learn to read at 7, by the age of 8, you've got around the same, reading age. So what really matters in this age group is what we call disposition. So dispositions are the key things that actually underpin your ability to learn, and the dispositions you learn under 7 tend to be the dispositions that stay with you for the rest of your life. But it's powerful stuff. Dispositions are things like persevering through failure. If you give up the very first time that you experience, failure, then you're not going to be as successful as a learner that is willing to give it another go, give it another go, give it another go. That's a disposition. It's a sort of disposition that's going to set you up to do well for the rest of your educational life, for the rest of your learning. So hopefully you're getting that idea that under 7, it's these key dispositions that really determine how successful you're going to be. We want to predict your outcomes, actually, like as an adult, we want to predict your outcomes based on the research, based on the data that we gather under the age of 7. It's got nothing to do with your colours and numbers and stuff, because that stuff plateaued. The only way we can, in a research-based academic way, predict your outcomes as an adult is to ascertain your dispositions under the age of 7. Do you persevere through failure? Do you have the disposition to flip from one thing to the other? Or are you able to focus your attention on one thing and hold that attention, like she's doing now? That ability to focus your attention, that's a disposition that, again, is going to see the basis for all of your learning for the rest of your life. In fact, you could summarize all of that literature by saying that at this age, we're going to predict your outcomes. It's not based on how clever the child is. What it's actually based on is how clever the child feels. So if you say to a 6-year-old, mate, what do you like as a learner? When that's essentially finding out what their disposition is towards themselves as a learner. Mate, what do you like as a learner? The child has been in a free play environment like this, with open-ended equipment and the sort of things we're going to talk about. The child has been in a free play environment will basically say, yeah, I'm a good learner, cheers. Whereas children who are in more adult-led, like primary school type curriculums in an early childhood setting with the teachers in charge and there's a focus on acquiring literacy and numeracy, you ask those kids, mate, what do you like as a learner? Most of them reply along the lines of, not good enough. Apparently there's an expectation I should be doing better than what I'm doing, so I'm not quite as good as I should be. That's the key disposition that will predict more than any other piece of information how much money you're earning at 32, not the colours and numbers. So dispositions are really key to understanding what happens in early childhood. And these sorts of environments are the environments that we know, through the evidence and the research, facilitate the development of those dispositions so well. Those dispositions aren't just about how well you're going to do academically, you're also to do someone's fascinated in the camera. Absolutely naturally, curiosity.
Oh, done.
It's not just about how you're going to do academically, it's about what we call resilience, which you could just say is your ability to bounce back, but it's also to do with your ability to be happy and enjoy life. So under the age of 7, dispositions don't just input to your later academic outcomes, they directly correlate with how resilient you will be for the rest of your life. Because again, it's not just learning like later on to learn colours and numbers and stuff, literacy and numeracy, that you need dispositions like perseverance through failure. It's also in the development of resilience. Does one bad thing happen, or you lock yourself in your room and feel like the world's over and you can't cope, or do you have the resilience to bounce back, to bring forth the stuff that you need to get through that situation? All of that is developed in this setting, under the age of 7. I really wish everyone knew that, because I think there's a big emphasis on focusing on literacy and numeracy and teacher-led environments, getting them ready for primary school. If you're spending all of under 7 getting ready to be 7, you're really failing to meet the needs of 4, 5 and 6-year-olds. Because the needs of 4, 5 and 6-year-olds are quite different than the needs of 7-year-olds. They're quite different from primary school age. The key word to understanding that is dispositions. Dispositions lead to not just intelligence, but resilience.